The book of Genesis narrates that the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So man became a living being. The first man was called Adam, that is, earthly being, and his wife was called Hava, or Eve, that is, life-giver. In fact, the Hebrew words Adamah and Hayim mean earth and life, respectively. The Genesis creation narrative bears some resemblance to the ancient Chinese myth of Fuxi and Nuwa, the first man and woman said to have been created by the god Laishan and the goddess Washu. Ancient Jews believed that human beings were endowed with an earthly soul, which is the seat of instinct, and a divine spirit, which is the seat of emotions. Kabbalah points out that the soul contains three more elements, namely intellect, consciousness, and godliness. The esoteric explanations of reincarnation were articulated by Jewish mystic Isaac Luria in 16th century Egypt. In the Hindu belief system, a human being is defined as a psychophysical entity known as Purusha or Atman. The word Purusha, meaning person or embryonic personality, is related to the Chinese Pei, which means embryo. The Sanskrit word Atman, just like the Latin anima and a few other Indo-European cognates, is somehow connected to the Chinese term for mist or fog. Germanic nouns, like the English soul, are related to the Chinese concept of breath or breeze, whereas Slavic nouns, like the Russian dusha, are akin to the Chinese word for energy or liveness. In ancient Indian philosophy, Paramatman or Para-Brahman is the immanent and transcendent universal soul, comparable to the Chinese god Pangu, from whom the cosmos emerged. Conversely, Jivatman is the individual soul of each person and animal, which is part of Paramatman, just like each cell is an integral part of the human body and simultaneously dependent on the overall health of the organism. In all dharmic religions, the ultimate goal of life is spiritual liberation, which requires self-knowledge. In other words, each human soul must realize that it is qualitatively identical with Paramatman, though infinitesimally smaller. The Yajur Veda explains, and I quote, "The one who begins perceiving in all living beings a part of himself becomes a lover of all, a part and parcel of the universal soul. He flows with the stream of happiness and is enriched by each soul." End of quote. This is summed up in the phrase Sat Chit Ananda, meaning true awareness leads to bliss. Hindus believe each person consists of four immaterial elements, namely energy, mind, consciousness, and spirituality, which ensoul a new body at each rebirth. Some Turkic populations, such as the Yakuts of Siberia, share a similar belief. Lord Krishna taught that as a person sheds worn-out garments and wears new ones, likewise, at the time of death, the soul casts off its worn-out body and enters a new one. Buddhists state that human beings are made up of 5 aggregates, which flourish and shrivel within their lifetime and eventually succumb to death. Lord Buddha used the term anatman, meaning there is neither a permanent self nor a continually reincarnated personality. Nevertheless, Buddhists believe a byproduct of consciousness, conventionally referred to as patisandhi citta, may indeed get reborn. Patisandhicitta serves as the interface between our earthly form and the astral plane. Only upon relinquishment of all worldly attachments does Patisandhicitta enter a metaphysical void called parinirvana, or dharmadhatu, in which the Buddha himself is said to dwell. Until that happens, the Wheel of Rebirth offers 6 different modes of existence, namely the realm of disembodied elevated spirits, the realm of human beings, the realm of demons, the realm of animals, the realm of ghosts, and finally, in the worst-case scenario, the realm of hellish beings, such as parasites and soil-dwelling invertebrates. Taoist philosophy propounds the most detailed view of the human being as consisting of as many as 13 elements. To start with, Jing is the chemical essence of the physical body. Qi is its electromagnetic field, and Shen is the emotional and intellectual factor. On top of these 3, there is an element called Po, which is in turn subdivided into 7 components. And finally, the highest one called Hun, which is tripartite. Po is the ego identity, which remains with the corpse until it gets decomposed, whereas Hun is the ethereal element which leaves the body after death and either roams as a ghost or gets reincarnated. Hun may be reabsorbed into the universe if the person has led a virtuous and harmonious life. On this note, the Roman poet Virgil described the whole of creation as pervaded by one common soul, which unites the mighty mass of the universe.